this is my summer TBR. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I have my summer TBR for you. Summer has hit us in full force here in Europe because we've just gotten over a heat wave. As you're watching this, it's the last day of June and we haven't had temperatures like this in June ever. So I'm still coming to you very summery and all that. It's supposed to cool down the next couple of days, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, summer is definitely here, and I just finished the book that I was reading as part of my spring TBR last night. So I was like, I have to show you guys what I'm reading in the summertime, of course. So let's start with the book that I'm currently reading. This is the Blackwater series by Michael McDowell. This is Blackwater number 3, The House. I already read the first 2 earlier in the year, and it is my aim to read all 6 of these novellas in the next couple of months. So before the end of the year, I want to have finished the entire series, which means I need to read one of these every 2 months, and that's sort of the plan. So I was like, what can I potentially read before the end of June? Because by the time you're watching this video, I may have already finished this. This is only 200 pages. It's about a family who, it's a whole group of people living in like southern, I think it's like Alabama, I don't know, one of the southern states in the US, and this is described as Southern Gothic. They rescue a woman after a flood, and she becomes a part of this family and everything that happens to this town and its inhabitants and this family as she's being a part of their lives. So it's sort of like a generational story at the same time, but there's like a very spooky, it's not spooky, it's not scary, it's not horror, but there is this darkness that's lurking underneath the surface, and every book, it seems, based on the first 2 books, I hope it gets darker as we go along. It gets a little bit darker. It gets a little bit darker every single book, I feel, so I can't wait to see what number 3 is all about. And then the actual TBR to be reading this summer consists of 8 books. One of them is on my e-reader. So before I forget to tell you about it, but I do want to read some Emily Henry this summer. I read People We Meet on Vacation as like a palate cleanser after my my London trip. I picked it up there and I was like, you know what? I read Beach Read a couple of years ago, and as far as romance stories go, I quite like Emily Henry. So I've now bought every single book by her for my e-reader for this summer. So maybe by the end of summer, I may have read like 4 different Emily Henry books. Who knows? I think Funny Story is going to be my first one that I pick up. So if you know anything about it, don't tell me anything about it. I don't want to know too much about these books going into them. I will be rereading some books as well. So this is a physical copy that I have. But again, I'm going to be reading this on my e-reader. I also decided to invest in the next 3 or 4 books in the Ben Aaronovitch Peter Grant series. I already reread the first 2 books in this series in the previous 2 summers, and I'm currently going to be reading number 3 at least, and maybe the other ones as well. Whispers Underground is the third book in this series, and I don't remember much because I believe when I first started reading this series, the first 3 books were already out. I've been reading this series for more than a decade, so some of the books that I read really early on was like more than 10 years ago, so I wanted to reread them because there are so many fun things, and I now notice other things in this series. So that's a nice summertime activity, I find, to be rereading some Ben Aaronovitch. So that's something that I'm going to be doing as well, so that's going to be the next one. Then I did pick this one up. I found this book everywhere when I was in London, but the cover didn't appeal to me, so I wasn't gonna read it. But then when I got home after my trip, this book was everywhere, and I was like, oh, but I do want to read this. Apparently this is about a trad wife influencer who finds herself in the historic time period that she romanticizes in her content, and then she has to deal with it. Apparently this is really funny, very tongue-in-cheek. So I cannot wait to see what this book is all about. This is actually going to be my next read after the Blackwater one. Then I want to pick this up. I just finished like a fantasy series, so I needed something else to sort of get me going again. I was like, you know what, Blackwater is really like short and easy to get to, and then I want to go into something bigger again. So Yesteryear by Caro Burke is going to be my next read after Blackwater. And then I do have summer vacation coming up over the summertime. Of course, I have 5 weeks off. So the things on my e-reader are the things I want to read while I'm on vacation. I don't want to take a physical copy with me. But the rest of the time, I don't really have too many other plans than just a trip. So we'll see. But I want to get started on the Dungeon Crawler Carl series by Dinniman. This is a sort of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets Squid Game, kind of. That's how my friends described it to me anyways. Apparently this is a lot of fun. It's a little bit of a sci-fi kind of thing. There's, I believe, 8 books out in this series. And I just want to try the first one to see if I like it. But apparently it's about a guy who's stuck in this game for life of death. So that's where the Squid Game element comes into. And apparently there's a cat. There's also a cat at the front here who's really important. Whatever. It sounded interesting. So when he described it, and I did already purchase the first, I think, 3 or 4 books in the series for my friend's son, because I thought he might like it as well as I have to read this myself as well. So Dungeon Crawler Carl is something that I did already see around lying in bookstores, but because I didn't know really too much about it, and then my friend told me about it, I was I need to read it. And I think it's going to be fun for summer. And then I did also want to read some other things as well. So this one was on my historical fiction shelf, but I think it's more magical realism. This is City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. I don't know too much about this because I picked it up because it was buy one get one half price. And I remember when I was in Edinburgh 2 years ago now, it was October 2024, I went to Edinburgh and I picked this up because I needed something else to get the deals. I was might as well. So I don't know too much about it. It just had a pretty cover. That's what I went by. And it's got A Dark Dream on the blurb here by Laini Taylor. So that made me interested. Spellbinding, Glitters with Magic. I don't know. Sounds like it's going to be at least that's what I'm hoping, that this is one of those books that has a historical setting and then some magical elements to it. This, I don't know why, but I just thought it could be good for the summertime. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. It's never too late to follow the dream. And this is blurb by V.E. Schwab, says simply perfect. Again, I don't remember exactly what this book is about, but this is another one of those books that I picked up because I saw it around everywhere, and then I was might as well. It's sort of, again, there is a fantastical element to that book. And then I've just decided I need to get to this. This is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I've decided to just commit. The only part I've ever read of the book is the part where she's in the south of France with this lady that she's accompanying, where she meets the guy. But I sort of stopped reading before they ever move into the house, so I just need to get back into this. I DNF'd it at the time because I felt it was so slow. I did watch the movie now. I've already forgotten what the movie was about. Not gonna lie. But yeah, this was a book that I still wanted to read. I was I just need to commit, and then in the summertime, over summer break, I will have the time and the headspace to really get stuck into this. I hope it. Anyways. And then this is also something that I picked up in Edinburgh, and I was you know what? This is the time to read it. It's Early Fate by Nat Reeve. I know nothing about it. I just like the cover. Apparently, yeah, it's historical fiction. It's queer. It's humorous. It's lighthearted. And it's about someone, you locked me in the morgue, now you can take the consequences. And if this doesn't convince you all, I cherish her, I have no idea what will. Okay. It says here, from the author of Nettlebeck, Early Fate throws us back into the same madcap neo-Victorian world where queerness is a given and chaos is mandatory. Sort of steampunk, Victorian-ish. And there's a queer element. I don't know why, but that sounded really intriguing, and I really liked the cover of it. So I was again I just need to read it this summer. So those are the 8 books that I want to get to at least in the next couple of weeks. I hope that this is enough for me to read until the end of August, at least. Maybe pushing into September as well. Some of these are thicker books. I mean, quite a few of these actually are like 400 plus pages, I think, so we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I do have 5 weeks off over the summertime break, and then I do plan on traveling and doing all that, so that's hopefully going to give me a little bit of time to be doing some more reading again. But yeah, I'm really happy that, well, almost, not quite, but I did finish my entire spring TBR. Plus, I think I did read 1 or 2 extra books that weren't on my TBR. So I did it. I did what I set out to do. So if I can read the next 8 books, then that will be lovely. And then hopefully I can read what's on my e-reader that I've now purchased while I'm on the trip. That's another like 8 books or so. And then I'm gonna like think about like what I want to read in the fall time from September onwards. I think we can do that. I think we can. So let me know in a comment down below what you will be reading this summer. I would love to know. Are you going on the romance kick like I am? Who knows? But yeah, thanks so much for watching me here today. And then I hope to see you again really soon with a new video next week. Bye-bye.